Have you ever bought a product that didn't exist at the time that you bought it? I bet you have, but you didn't really think about it at the time. Now, a few years ago, the idea of selling a product before it even existed would have seemed like either a pipe dream or a scam to me. However, now, if you look around, you'll start recognizing that many companies are already pre-selling products every single day and no one thinks twice about it. People are giving their money for something that doesn't yet exist. If you've ever bought a concert ticket, you have bought something before it existed, and you probably paid way ahead of time with a convenience fee for a show that wasn't happening until months or maybe a year later. And you probably didn't think anything strange about it, but this is an example of pre-selling a product and validating a market. You bought that ticket, and guess what happens if not enough people buy tickets? They either cancel the concert or they move it to a smaller venue that can be filled with the amount of people that want it, so they're not risking anything. The concert organizer is mitigating the risk up front, as should you. Another example you might know is Tesla, who opened pre-orders for their Model 3 car, an all-electric vehicle that didn't exist yet. They pre-sold 276 million in the first weekend from pre-sales alone. So they are just gauging that they're going to be able to sell that. And then in 2019, they did the same thing with their Cybertruck, which they kind of botched the launch on, if you've seen it, and they still brought over 20 million in cash within 2 days. That's over 200,000 cars bought before they even made it. So if you've ever had the idea for an app or a product or an event or something that you wanted to do but weren't sure how to make happen, here are 7 reasons why you should consider crowdfunding it. Number 1, validation of your idea. So there's no better validation that someone actually wants what you're selling than if they take out their wallet and pay for it ahead of time. Because people can say, oh, I want this and I'll pay for it when it's out. But if someone buys something before it exists, they are willing to actually put their money where their mouth is, and you know that you've created something that solves a real problem in the world. Number 2 is low financial risk. See, it can cost a ton of time, money to launch a new product into a marketplace. So rather than, putting up your own money, getting a bank loan, mortgaging your house, crowdfunding gives you a way to access capital to bring your idea to life without, putting your personal life and credit at risk or giving up equity to people you don't know. It also ensures that if people don't want or need your product, that you don't end up with a garage full of your junk that you can't sell and a hole in your bank account. So there's very low financial risk to crowdfunding. Number 3 is build a tribe. So crowdfunding is an excellent opportunity to build a community around your idea. The people who support you and fund your idea before it exists are the champions that will make your product a success. They will support you, they will hold you accountable, they will help you make the product better, and they will push you to ensure that it gets delivered. And then they'll share it with their friends as early adopters. They're gonna be the cool ones that said, I knew this when it was a crowdfunding campaign. Number 4 is tell your story. So if you've ever seen the famous video by Simon Sinek, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This is crowdfunding. So unlike Amazon or your store or going into a physical store, crowdfunding is the perfect place to tell your story about who you are, what you created, why it's solving a problem, why it's gonna be beneficial to the world. And like I said, unlike regular e-commerce or retail, the crowdfunding platform is your opportunity to connect with people who would otherwise never have found you. This is where you tell your story, and this is where people actually get to know you. Number 5 is urgency. So with a funding goal and a time limit, you are running against the clock, which creates urgency. It creates scarcity because people know that there's a time limit on when they can back your project, and it makes them much less likely to procrastinate. It also brings up a feeling of competition, as once someone supports you, they are financially and sometimes emotionally invested in you succeeding so that they don't miss out on their reward. So in decision theory, loss aversion refers to people's tendencies to strongly prefer avoiding losses to acquiring gains, which means I will work so much harder to avoid losing $100 than to making $100. So you can use that in your crowdfunding campaign to ensure you get backed. Number 6, promotion and marketing. So crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter and Indiegogo are ideal platforms for promotion because they already have a rabid community of people that browse on their website on almost a daily basis to support cool projects. And this is organic traffic that you do not have to generate yourself, because they're already looking for cool stuff. For each of my projects and the projects I've coached on, they received 30% of all funding through organic traffic on Kickstarter. So you don't have to know these people, you just have to put it on these platforms and you will get their customers. Number 7, crowdsourced development. So your crowdfunding backers are a great source of product feedback. With each of the projects that I've run on Kickstarter, the product at the end of the campaign was improved significantly through feedback from the backers. And if you do it right, many of these people become passionate about the product. They want to help however they can make it even better, and then they're more committed to the product and to you and to what you build after Kickstarter. So don't feel like you have to go in perfect. They are going to give you feedback. If you take their feedback, they will be more committed to your project. Now, don't get me wrong, crowdfunding is not the silver bullet or the fast path to cash. If you're only interested in making money, or you're not interested in putting in the work, it's not for you. However, if you have a workable product idea that you want to validate, fund into a potential future business, then crowdfunding could be the way to go. It is how we launched Best Self, and is the only way we've been able to grow and scale Best Self without taking any outside funding. Last note, not only is crowdfunding incredible for all of the aspects I mentioned above, but it is also really, really fun. Now, if you want more details on how to launch, check out my video on that.